How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. As always, please let me know if the audio and the video is sounding good. I'm going to pause for now because I want you guys to let me know if you're getting any background noise. Unfortunately, as I said over on Twitter, I have load shedding, so put the generator on specifically just for the stream. So hopefully it's not making too much noise in the background. So just kind of listen now. If there's background noise, just let me know in the chat. It sound fine? I don't know if it sounds too bad. I've got headphones in, so I'm going to be kind of blasting out the buzz from the generator. But if it is sounding too bad, just do let me know, and I will make some adjustments. But thanks, Rough and Riz saying audio good. Gunawan saying missed you, brother, missed you too. Thankfully, FPL's back, and the deadline streams are going to be back. Yeah, everyone's saying that it sounds fine, so thanks. Just let me know if it does get too rowdy later on, but it should be perfectly fine. But as I mentioned, game week 9, it's a little bit of a boring game week for my own team, to be honest. Having wildcard in blank game week 8, that is an expectation, because if you're going to use a wildcard, the next few game weeks should be pretty kind of planned out already. Unfortunately, there has been no kind of injuries, or fortunately no injuries over this international break. But if you guys are on, we can't hear you, speak louder. Okay, just let me know if it's too soft. Have you turned me up to the maximum volume? Because then we might have a problem. But everyone else said it should be fine. Karen, do you think Son will be a good buy playing Arsenal today? So I don't know about Son. I think if you're going to be going for one of the options, it has to be Salah or Kevin De Bruyne. I do like Son though come game week 11/12. That's potentially when you can look at Son. Actually, just game week 11. I like the kind of transition of KDB, Son game week 11 for the captain, then game week 12 Salah. That's my current thinking. So you can also go for Son. I know that you are a Spurs fan. And I think that North London derby hopefully will be quite entertaining in a couple of hours' time. All good, says Richard. Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me know that the stream is fine. As always, just let me know if there are any problems. Unkid saying the GOAT is back after 2 weeks. I wouldn't call myself the GOAT, but it has been 2 weeks. That is true. Hope you guys' international break was a safe one. From my own personal point of view, it was kind of a quiet one. Wasn't really thinking about FPL too much. I think that's kind of the nature of the wild card in game week 8. Not too much to think about, to be honest. But if you guys are on a wild card, make sure that you check out my draft from yesterday's video, because that's basically what my current thinking. But you guys can also let me know if there are any questions about the wild card, and I'll hopefully answer them when I do see them. Isaac replacement, I'm 0.1 short of Tony. So Ariel, it's exact same situation with me. I can't actually afford Tony, so if I do take Isaac out, I'll be going for Solanke, but I'll talk about my transfer plan in a little bit. I just want to give enough time to everyone to kind of come into the stream so that I don't have to repeat myself too much. Tarang saying, hi Davey, wait till the end for locking transfers. I might not, Tarang. I might lock them in earlier, just because if the generator runs out of petrol, the stream's going to crash anyway. So I might lock them in slightly earlier. Giroud, no Salah shirt this week. I'm not giving you Salah captainers any more luck than you currently need. If you guys have checked me out on my videos, I've mentioned that I think Salah is the best captain option this week. So if you guys are on a wild card or do you have Salah in your team, I would probably captain him over Haaland. So I'm not giving you any luck. Any more like Giroud. I'm going to be going for the normal Liverpool shirt. I'm going to rep the boys, you know, but I'm hoping almost for a Salah blank, but a Liverpool win. But if Salah does score, not the end of the world, as I am a Liverpool fan. No salad. Jamie, that sounds like my restaurant order. No salad at the end of the day, but also no Salah in my FPL team. So yeah, I'm not going to make the switch this week. I locked in the game week 8 wildcard move of going without Salah till game week 12, and that's what I'm going to stick with, unfortunately. On a wildcard, Wilson or Tony, I would go with Tony. Wilson for me is too injury prone. That's what it simply comes down to. I do like Wilson, but if he wasn't injury prone, then it's a bit of a debate, but I don't know. Are you banking the transfer? No, I'm probably going to use it this week. I'm going to take Isaac out for Solanke. So my current transfer plan, let's go into that, because I've given people enough time to kind of come into the chat. So the current transfer plan, first scenario is just to take out Isaac for Solanke. Straight move there, 1.5 million in the bank. Isaac dropped in price last night, but that's not a concern because we bought him at 7 million anyways. The next option though is I could bank a transfer and play Kurt Zuma instead of Isaac, and just hope that Isaac's back for next week. But I don't trust Eddie Howe. that kind of goes two ways, because one, it means that Eddie Howe was lying when he said that Isaac was running on grass and should be back shortly, or it could mean that Isaac's not even injured and he starts today. But I think my current thinking is the former. I think that he might be out for longer than we thought, and that's why Solanke, I wanted to do that move in Game Week 10 anyways when Newcastle face United. So for me, it's a no-brainer to just do that move. But I could also just bank it and play Kurt Zuma. I just don't know about Zuma in that West Ham defense. I'm a little bit iffy on them. I wanted to say though, the return of FPL after international break has also been the return of the chocolate box. I treated myself for this one, guys, and that's why I ended up with the chocolate box. We're going back to the OG days. Hopefully it brings back the OG ranks, because that'll be quite nice, because currently we are ranked about 1 million. For Final Perisic to start this week, I would probably just go with Perisic. I have no problem kind of going for Perisic this week. I'm expecting some goals there, but that could mean that Perisic gets a goal and an assist. And I think he's just a better player than maybe Fofana. And with Fofana, you didn't even know if he's going to start. Can you explain the Solanke hype, please? So, Harry, I actually want to get some credit here. You know, I want some hate. All the bigger FPL YouTubers have been getting all the hate for Solanke, and I was saying get him on my Game Week 8 wildcard plan. So I want some of the hate, please, guys, about Solanke. So if you guys can drop some roast comments about that thinking, will be much appreciated. But in all seriousness, in terms of Solanke, the reason there's so much hype around him is that he is 5.7 million. And I think people are forgetting that. He's super budget. He's going to play 90 minutes. He's going to be on penalties. If Bournemouth score, hopefully he's involved. And the fixtures are quite good. So for my sake, I'm not going for Solanke because I think he's a better pick than Tony. I can't even afford Tony anyways, but I'm going for Solanke because he allows me to get Trent and Salah come Game Week 12. So he's almost like a little cheap enabler piece that I'm putting into my side. He's almost like a pawn that is going to get maybe a bigger piece of the other chessboard. So maybe a bishop, maybe someone like that, maybe like a knight. So that's what we're hoping for. Chances are probably won't. Probably will go out first turn, second turn. But that's why I'm kind of going for him. He's a cheap piece that has good fixtures, is nailed, and theoretically that hopefully will lead to 1 or 2 returns over the next few. That's all he has to get. Harry's saying chocolate milk has a direct correlation to green arrow. Studies have shown. I think someone is doing their PhD on that topic right now. Let's go, says Unkit with that. Solanke, more like blank. So that is just rude and us, but very nice play on words. I saw another one that I'm not going to repeat on stream, but it had a W in there somewhere, and I think you guys can work out what I was saying. But that one was also quite humorous, but yeah. I'm expecting him to blank 1 or 2 times, to be honest, but I mean, at that price point, who kind of cares? For Trent and Salah, who would you be going out for your team? So current planning to run is Kevin De Bruyne for Salah, and then Reece James around Game Week 12. So I'll show you why I'm thinking about Reece James, is that I know he's got a good attacking threat, but if you look at the fixtures here, from about Game Week 12, I might not get Trent in Game Week 12, I might bring him in Game Week 13, but you can see hopefully Game Week 12, Brentford, a tough game. United should be a tough game. Brighton, maybe not as tough of a game. Then Arsenal and Newcastle. So I might be fine with losing Reece James for this fixture run. But then I could also lose Cancelo, but I'm not too keen on that because the Cancelo fixtures are a lot better than the current ones. And I just feel like Man City are better defense. We mentioned this in the Ultimate Guide that Chelsea aren't even in the top 5 for XG conceded. So, whereas Man City are top. So, I would rather go with Cancelo and Trent than James and Trent. But who kind of knows? Maybe Liverpool's defense is looking trash still. Then we might even not go for Trent. Jacket says Captain Solanke. I wouldn't Captain Solanke. I think there's multiple options in your team. There's probably 10 out of your starting 11 that are better than Solanke this week. Why is Isaac in your starting team? Because I haven't made my transfer yet. Captaining Solanke? No, Akil, I'm not captaining Solanke. Sub Davey, what does your team name mean? It means it's coming home in Afrikaans. So that's one of the languages, one of the official 11 in South Africa. So it's coming. It's like a play on the words. It's coming home. You know how England fans or England folks say that. Like the page, folks, says Jay. I'm not gonna say Jay said it, but you guys can always like it if you want to. Would you do Isaac to Tony from -4? Ronaldo, this all comes down to who's your bench option, because it's not Isaac to Tony from -4. It's going to be whoever's on your bench versus Tony this week. Depending on how Potter uses him, Mount could be a great option soon. So Jacko, that is true. Unfortunately, like I mentioned this, we kind of have the Brighton team with the new manager, and we also have the Chelsea team with the new manager, and both of them have okay fixtures. Probably not Brighton, won't look at them too much, but we don't exactly know how these two teams are going to set up. And until we get clarity, I don't want to act on unknowns with those two teams. So that's why Reece James was my only Chelsea selection, because even though they have great fixtures, I think Reece James is probably one of the most nailed players in a starting 11. There might be some rotation in other positions, but 100% very nicely taken goal against Germany, if you guys did watch. Lol, I thought it was camel. Okay, so no, Jamie, it's not that. I wasn't referring to a camel toe in my FPL team name. How's the Sterry Stumpy going, Andrew? It's going well. I haven't had one in a few weeks, so pretty happy with my selection. Marcus saying, "Sub David, what's your current plan with Isaac? Isaac to Solanke, or I could also bench Isaac and play Kurt Zuma. But I think I'm going to do the Isaac move anyways in 2 weeks' time, so I might as well just go with Solanke. The one thing I was thinking about is benching Trippier for Zuma, but I think I'd rather just go with Trippier. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. We also do have a poll, so vote in the poll, and if I haven't put your captain selection there, you guys can just comment it. But I'm pretty sure no one's going to be captaining anyone else but those three. Maybe Kevin De Bruyne, but yeah. Neil Murray with the super chat saying, play one, Bailey, Andreas Perisic, also Pope or Iverson. I'd go with Pope. I understand the Iverson move or Ward move. I just don't think I'm going to do it. But in terms of Bailey, Andreas, and Perisic, I probably won't play Andreas. Andreas would be my third selection. So it's between Bailey and Perisic for me. Aston Villa. Who do Aston Villa play? Sorry, I'm just like so out of it with some of these teams. Aston Villa play Leeds. If you think that Bailey starts, I'd probably go with him. But I think right now what I would say is Perisic, Bailey, Andreas. Thank you for the super chat though. Ty the Footy Guy has become a member for 8 months. Thank you for renewing. Do appreciate it. What's up, Ty? Hopefully you are good. Thanks again for renewing. Pope or Iverson, I've Mitrovic in my starting 11. So David, similar situation to me, but maybe a little less. I'm super exposed here because I do own Trippier, but for you, I wouldn't be against playing Pope and Mitrovic because Pope could still get some save points. I don't know about the Iverson move because for me, there's like an underlying worry that if Iverson doesn't play, then you could also just get Pope off the bench. I just don't think it's worth. I think just play Pope. Mitro and Trippier could be offsetting Davey. Yes, it could be Tarang, but I'm playing the odds there. I am playing the odds. I'm hoping that either one of them returns. No, I wouldn't. Oh, no, Ronaldo. I wouldn't do the -4. I would just play Kurt Zuma instead of Isaac. Or go Solanke. But you haven't mentioned Solanke there, so I would just play Zuma. I don't know. I'm not convinced with your Isaac to Solanke move. Give us a better option than Solanke. Unfortunately, there's no like other better options unless you can afford Tony. If you can afford Tony, then go for him, I feel. I'm like priced out of it, but I don't think I would have gone Tony anyways, just because my future moves are kind of dependent on Solanke. And that's what I said to someone on the Discord server. They mentioned that they want a wild card. So what I said is just plan your future moves and then just see how they kind of flow in. Because if you want to go for Tony, it blocks off Salah and Trent for me. But if you don't want Trent anyways till game week 16, then you can just go for Tony. It just depends on what your current plans are. Salah is 12.8 now, not tempted for this week. Wilson, I can't afford him anyways. I have like 0.2 in the bank, so De Bruyne to Salah doesn't matter. And I don't think it's worth the -4. That's my current thinking. And as I've mentioned, I'm locked in. I'm just hoping that Salah blanks this week, next week, and game week 11, which might not be that kind of warranted against Arsenal and Man City. That might be that he might blank against them. Is it worth taking Saka out for Maddison or Zaha from -4? No, not this week, Ty. But unless you want to captain either of them. Definitely not Zaha this week. Maybe Maddison because of a nice fixture. But if you're not going to captain them, I still think Saka against Spurs is a fine fixture. Start Bailey and make Tony captain, or go with Bailey to Sinistero. I don't know about the Tony captain, but if you want to go differential 100%, Bailey to Sinistero, that's a move that I would think should hopefully pay off in the long run, or at least until game week 16. I don't know. Unfortunately, I understand why you've asked this, because it's tough, because we don't know if Bailey starts or not. So that's why I would act on it. If there's no kind of certainty that Bailey's going to play, then I would go for the more nailed option in Sinistero. We have another super chat from Arjun saying -4 worth for Barnes in. No, -4 is not worth that, unfortunately. Akash became a legend for 2 months. Thank you. I do appreciate it. He says, thanks, Davey, as always, for all the expert advice. Thank you for becoming a legend and kind of trusting me and supporting me. Harry has become a member for 8 months. Thank you, Harry. Regular in the streams. Kuran saying Solanke in. Yes, probably. Football says you always skip my chat. This always happens. Whenever you guys say you skip my chat, I see that comment, but I don't see the actual comment. Why not play Zuma and roll the transfer? So that's what I did speak about. I could potentially do that. But I think then I have to be confident Isaac plays next week. And I'm not super confident about that. Then also added to that, with Wilson back in the team, who kind of knows where Isaac's going to play? He could play on the left, he could play on the right, he could play up front with him. But I'm not super confident, and that's why I said, I don't know. Why not Diego Costa instead of Solanke? I don't trust Wolves. But that could be a consideration. I mentioned Daka, so that's what I wanted to say, so I got distracted. Daka mentioned in yesterday's or Thursday's team selection that he could potentially be an option, but there's been some rumors that Vardy might start on Monday, and that for me puts me completely off Daka. I think I need an option that's nailed, and that's why I'm going for Solanke over Daka. Kishan, I could do that. I could just go for rolling the transfer, but I just don't know. Harry, another 8 months member, says Tyler Footy guys. So yeah, you two guys are OGs here. No. Ralph and Reza saying -4 from Jesus to Tony to Solanke, worth it. Not Solanke, definitely not Solanke from -4. Tony maybe, but I'd probably just stick Rafa. Thoughts on Game Week 12 free to avoid losing City? So Harry, you shouldn't have to kind of lose your City and Arsenal options. You should basically just be able to kind of roll them on the bench. That's what I would say. Sorry, I just wanted to check that the generator is still running. Thoughts on... okay, I already said that. Pedro says, Davey, my Joburg brother. So, Pedro, how's this heat, eh? Flip. And I see it's going to be like 35 next week. Hey, Davey, good luck this week, says Aid. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. You too. Bowen and Kane to Salah and Solanke from -4, says Chris. Only if you want to captain Salah, Chris. Otherwise, Bowen and Kane should still be fine for this week. Costa not match fit yet. That is true, Light Rays. And I don't even know if he was match fit if I'd go for him. How much in the bank after the Solanke transfer? It should be 1.5, but I will confirm that if I do it. Tony or Solanke? So for me, the Tony and Solanke debate, if it's for kind of just getting an option till game week 16, obviously Tony's the better option. But if he does block future moves, then go for Solanke. So that's why I said this debate isn't kind of a 50-50 this game week. It's a future kind of consideration. So what I would do, go over to whatever kind of FPL transfer planner you use. Could be FPL.team, that's the one I sometimes use. Could be Fantasy Football Fix if you guys want to check them out. And then just look at your future moves and kind of plan the game weeks alongside each other. And then see, okay, I went for Tony in game week 7. Oh no, game week 9, but I wanted Salah in game week 12. I don't have enough money for that now, but if I do go for Solanke game week 9, I can afford him. So just kind of consider that. That's what I would say. Bench Zaha or start ahead of Soufal or Trippier? That is a tough one. I might say I would start ahead of Soufal, but very slightly. If you have James, Danny, I would just bench Zaha and then just hope that Chelsea keep a clean sheet. Check the team news. Okay, I will check the team news. Has there been anything that's popped up? Or you just want me to check in general? Because if it's just general, then I can just check for you guys. Okay, so... I don't see anything... I don't see anything. The deadline isn't 30 minutes. Hey. Yes. I just saw so many people confirming transfers over on Twitter and I was like, I got a little bit scared for a moment there. Okay, so currently there's been no team news over on Twitter. I do apologize for that. I thought maybe there was something that popped up. Who to start between Fofana, Bailey, or Perisic? I just go for Perisic, John. Patterson plus Isaac out for Solanke and Saliba. I wouldn't go for Arsenal defense right now. Lonella, I think I pronounced that right. Yeah, the Arsenal defense is a little bit hit or miss at the moment with those fixtures. 1.5 in the bank plus KDB plus James isn't enough for Solanke plus Salah plus Trent. Okay, I can show. Yeah, but I'm doing Saka to Zaha next week. So yeah, that just add that in there. Have you seen the highlights of Martinez and Haaland against each other? Ajax versus Dortmund. Martinez owned Haaland. Yeah, that could be true, but De Bruyne didn't play for De Bruyne and Cancelo didn't play for Dortmund. So I think the service is a lot better at Man City. And it's an interesting game. Like we haven't even touched on captaincy debates, and we only have 30 minutes, so that's a whole different debate to kind of go for. To be honest, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's Haaland or Maddison for my own team. If you guys do own Salah, I would go for him. I just think he's the better option this week. But between Maddison and Haaland, I'm tempted to go for Maddison, but I just don't think I will. I mentioned I just worry about Maddison a bit. I think if he was more kind of involved, I know that he is involved in Leicester's attack, but if he was almost like a center forward for Leicester, I might have gone for him. But I just feel like whenever I see Maddison, he's always scoring bangers, and bangers aren't always sustainable. Watch him score now one against Nottingham Forest. Start Gross or Saliba such Andreas. I just start Gross. I'm not too kind of bullish on centre backs in that game. I'm fine with Perisic, and maybe if you did own like a Zinchenko and he played, but I think the centre backs might be a little bit weird, unless you think Saliba will score a header as he usually does. Captain Maddison to Jag Singh. Maybe not. I think it might be too maverick for me. What's Maddison's ownership currently? It's under 10%. That'll be a massive differential, captain. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I fully trust Leicester enough to go for him. What is your transfer going to be? It's probably going to be Isaac to Solanke. I think that's what I'm currently leaning towards. Tony or Mitrovic? Yo, that's a tough one, Jeffrey. I think I might lean slightly towards Mitrovic because of the fixtures. And I just feel like he's slightly more... Like, I wanted to say slightly more of a talisman, but I mean, Tony's also a talisman. So, I think very slightly Mitrovic. That's what I'd say. Is Kulu out for sure? I think Conte didn't confirm that he's out 100%, but it looks pretty likely. There's only one solution for the captain, the FPL wheel. But for me, it's not really a big debate. I think I'm like 70-30 towards Haaland. So, if I was 50-50, then we could do the wheel, but I don't know. Would you consider Mbumo cheap and good fixtures? Maybe as a potential option, but I think he's more expensive now than Solanke is. And as I mentioned, I forgot who was mentioning, like, it's not enough money. I literally have like 0.0 in the bank to afford the moves I want to. So maybe if Salah or Trent drops again, but I don't think they will. Let me just check Brentford here and Mbumo. Okay, and Bumo's 5.9. So, I mean, he's a fine option. I'm just not super keen on those Brentford fixtures, to be honest. But, I mean, they are a great team at the end of the day. Okay. Best Isaac replacement. For me, it's Tony, but I think Solanke is good if you guys want him for future moves. That's what I'd say. Let's try the FPL wheel. No, because then it's going to make me Captain Maddison, and I'm on Haaland, and that was a decision I made already. But you guys can do the wheel if you want. Who's the best replacement for Kulusevski? There's a couple. Chetan, it's a very nice position to be in because you've got Zaha, you've got Maddison, and you have other assets. I would say Maddison is for me the number one priority. Then I'd say Zaha's the second one. And between those two, you should be able to find a replacement, I feel. Is Zanka good? He is worth 4.0. I don't think so. I haven't heard his name mentioned in quite a while. So, Usama saying, how are you doing, brother? I'm doing well, thanks. And how are you? Your thoughts on Jack Harrison or Gordon? I like Harrison because I think Leeds might look slightly better than Everton. But Gordon is like a talisman for Everton as well. I would say, how cheap is Jack Harrison? Because there should be other Leeds assets that you guys could look at. I know like an Aronson or someone like that. So Harrison is 6.2. Can you stretch to Sinistero? Because he looks good. If you can stretch to him, I would go for him. Otherwise, Harrison is fine or Aronson. All of those options are pretty similar. I would say Sinistero is my favorite, but if you can't afford him, then Harrison's also fine. I agree with Rafa. So you two just go and Stream it yourselves on the wheel. Wait, you guys go and do the wheel and tell me who it tells you to captain. Why not starting Ward? Because I own Iverson. I just feel like Newcastle are better defense and Pope's a better goalkeeper. And I know Nottingham Forest are terrible, but Leicester's defense is also pretty bad. Are you leaving Isaac? No, I'm probably going to go Solanke this week, to be honest. Hopefully KDB rises and Salah stays at 12.8 in the same boat with money as you. So yeah, light raise, what do we need to happen is Salah needs to blank this week, then everyone sells him, and KDB needs to get a Hattie. Because if KDB gets a Hattie, then he's going to rise in price, and if Salah blanks, he's going to drop, hopefully. That's what I'd say. Kepa in Chelsea, now when Mendy is on the bench, lack of match form. Andreas, that's a fine option. For me, you want a long-term goalkeeper till game week 16. And then what happens if Mendy comes back? Then unless you have a replacement on the bench that is good, then you might be in a little bit of a predicament. Best Cucurella replacements or roll the free transfer and play Andreas. Good luck. It's a tough one because let's just say that Chilwell plays today or tomorrow whenever Chelsea do feature and he performs well, then maybe Chilwell will start a lot of the Prem games because then Cucurella might come back in for the Champions League. We don't really know what the fitness situation is there. So what I would say is that you could just roll and get more information, but I'm not super confident on Andreas. But in terms of other options, the only ones that I'd look at is potentially getting Trent if you don't have him. So you probably don't have that much money, so you might as well just stick maybe with Cucurella. Chetan saying, apologies, I forgot to mention I have Osaka, Martinelli, Madison, Haaland. Okay, then go for Zaha. I'd go for Zaha then. Chetan. Is Solanke the only transfer today? Yeah, I can't see myself taking a hit unless we get some early team news about like Haaland being out or something like that. G-Ball saying, hey, just join. Sorry, no worries. No need to apologize. It's a Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. I'm sure you have some better things to do than listen to me talk about FPL. But G-Ball saying, is the transfer and captain still Isaac and Solanke? Or no, nothing new has developed. We have had no early team news. So I think I'll probably just go Isaac to Solanke. How do you think Arsenal will win? I think they will win by scoring more goals against Spurs. Ewok edits. That's usually what happens in a Prem game. What's your plan for game week 12? Hopefully Salah in and potentially Trent in. But I think Salah's the priority because I'll probably captain him game week 12. Whereas Trent, I might still leave for kind of game week 13 if I don't have enough free transfers. But that's my current plan. It will be De Bruyne to Salah. The current plan right now is going to be Isaac to Solanke this week. Saka to Zaha next week. Game week 11, maybe bank a transfer, see what happens. Maybe do KDB to Son for captain. Then Son/KDB to Salah game week 12. Or if we don't do the Son move, we can do Trent in for James and Salah in for KDB. That's the current plan. Cheers. Yeah, it's afternoon and I'm stuck at work. Sorry that you have to work on a Saturday, G-Ball, but hopefully the rest of your weekend is quite enjoyable. Karen saying, hey, Spurs got this. I'm hoping for a good game. Obviously, I'm hoping for a lot of goals. Hopefully for Saka and Martinelli and none for Harry Kane and Son. Maybe Holberg, Hattie or something like that for Spurs. I'll be fine with that. But I just want some points at the end of the day. Is your transfer done? No, it's not done. I will do it in about 10 minutes time. I just want to see if we do get any early team news. Because what I'm hoping for is that I'm hoping for some confirmation about Isaac that he hasn't traveled. Because Eddie Howe sometimes spices things up. And I just want to know that he didn't travel to the away game at Fulham. Because Newcastle do play today, and then I'll be more confident in the move. Otherwise, if he's going to play today, I might just keep Isaac. Best goalkeeper pairing, I like Guaita and Ward/Iverson, but unfortunately, we don't exactly know who's going to start out of them. I would say Pickford and Begovic is an upcoming maybe goalkeeper pairing that you guys could go for. I might say that one could be good. Do make your move ASAP. The generator might run out of time. So I think I do have enough petrol in there. I loaded up before we went live. But yeah, I do agree with you that we might do the move slightly earlier then. Marco Foot saying start Justin or Trippier. I would start Trippier. And don't worry, Unkit. I will update you guys on Twitter or the Discord channel if I do make the transfer or if the stream does die. I'm not going to leave you guys out in the dark. Especially because I was going to do the deadline stream anyways. I feel Solanke isn't the one to get. Hold the transfer and work something out next week. I prefer even Zuma/Andreas to start over him. So I'm fine with starting Zuma over him. But what I would say is that I need Isaac to be back next week then. Because otherwise there is some rotation that I don't really want with my bench. And the thing about it, Danny, is that like there's not many other moves I want to consider. So for me, the priority right now is Salah and Trent. and Zaha. So I could go for like another forward, but to be honest, there's no forward that I kind of want to at that price point next week. And that's why for me, it's like a no-brainer to just do it because I'm going to do it in the future anyways. But if your current situation is like you want to get Kane in next week or something like that, then you can obviously change it around. United's defense looks decent at the moment. Doesn't Haaland seem a bit of a risky captain? Tarang, their defense does look good, but they haven't faced Man City, and Man City at the end of the day are just a very good team. So I can't see Man City not scoring. Watch Man United keep a clean sheet here, but I just feel like Man City are just an unstoppable team at the moment, and I feel like United might get a bit of a surprise there. Maybe because I am a Liverpool fan, so maybe I'm like being biased against United, but nothing would fill me with more joy than a Liverpool win, a Salah blank, and Haaland absolutely destroying United. Let's just say that. Don't dislike the stream because I said that. Sorry guys. Very biased, says Tazzy. Probably a United fan. Salah start or bench. Depends, Nicholas, who you can bench him for. If literally you're going to put on some player that's going to get 1 point, you might as well just play Saliba. But if it is an option with a decent fixture, then maybe just bench Saliba. Lloris is in doubt. Looks like a Hattie for Jesus. Looks like a Hattie for Saka, in my opinion. That's what I'm currently thinking about. Jojo's event saying Haaland first Manchester derby. You reckon he goes big? Potentially. Let's just hope so. If we do end up captaining him, which looks likely. World Wildcard Game Week 13. Solanke over Mitrovic for the 4 game weeks. I'd go Mitrovic, Felix. I'd still go Mitrovic, even if he had harder fixtures. I just don't trust Solanke over in that pairing. Adam V saying, why not bench Martinelli and play Kurt, the cat punt? A bit risky to play. I don't think it's a tricky game. Tricky game defensively, but not a tricky game from a forward point of view. I think they both might do well. But sure, thanks, Adam. Ayo, chill out. We get it. You hate. I don't hate them. I just deeply despise them. Rough and unsubbed, says Tazzy. Sorry for that one. Sterling as my captain. That's a different one, Brandon. I don't know if I'd maybe go for that. I just feel like Crystal Palace are quite a strong team. No worries, Felix. Thoughts on Johnson at Forest instead of Solanke? We can check the Forest fixtures because we have Nico Williams in our team. As far as I know, the fixtures aren't that bad. I just feel like they're not as good over this run because this run here looks pretty bad. Wolves, even though they can't score goals, they generally keep them out. So I don't like this run. Whereas if you look at like a Solanke, he has better fixtures over that kind of run. Start Zaha or Soufal? I always favor the attacker, but that's a tough one. I don't think there's going to be too much between them, hopefully. Barnes over Zaha for a 1 week punt. Dominic, 100%. I would do that myself if I wanted a 1 week punt. Just be careful about those future moves because you don't want to kind of pencil in too many 1 week punts. But if you sort it out, I really like that move. That's why I'm not bringing in Zaha this week is because it's a tough game against Chelsea. Start Andreas or Mings? Andreas, I think lead score against Aston Villa. What's your plan, says Jay? Right now, Isaac to Solanke. Pretty boring, I won't lie. But yeah. I've kind of thought it through, guys. I've done projected points over the upcoming game weeks. I've done the transfer plan, and Solanke suits me more than other selections. And before you guys can hate, I can't afford Tony anyways. So, I mean, he would be another replacement I'd want, but I can't even afford him anymore. So literally, it's like I'm in a corner here, and Solanke is the only player there. Sinistero for a 1 week punt. I'm fine with that. I mean, as a 1 week punt, a 4 week punt, I mean, Leeds have some okay fixtures coming up, some nice ones. So that's what I would say. Light Ray saying, give the stream a like, people. So if you want to help me with the algorithm, you can like this stream. But I want to be one of those annoying YouTubers that always says, smash the like button and subscribe. Even though I probably mention it too much. Pope or Raya this game week? Brentford. I think you have to go Raya out of those two. Kane Capitano loves the North London derby, but yeah. How about Trent as a captain this game week? I wouldn't, Mohamed. I don't think I'd go Trent captain. I'd stick between Haaland or Maddison. Trent could go nuclear, but I just don't trust the Liverpool defense at the moment for a captain. So follow Trippier. I'd say Trippier because he's slightly more attacking. Eddie Howe's going to surprise us and start Isaac. I'll be so mad if he does that. Because I think that Isaac is a great option this week. Siddharth has become a legend for 8 months. What's today and 8 months? Is it like, I don't know what happened 8 months ago, but Siddharth, thank you for becoming a legend. He says 100-point game week coming up, guys. Let's go. So Siddharth, if it's 100-point game week, I'll be super happy. Might be a little bit kind of exaggerated, but I do think that it could happen. Gross or Saliba to start? I go for Gross. Would you consider Gross over Saka? No, I would still stick with Saka, to be honest. Akshay. Zaha or Martinelli? If you're on a wildcard, Zaha, but if you're not, then you can just stick with Martinelli. This week's not the week for like a Zaha-Martinelli debate because both of them have like a tougher fixture, but I do still think Martinelli is a fine fixture. Would you start Ward or Guaita? I'd start Ward, but Chelsea can't be scoring goals. But I think I would start Ward. And that's the hard thing, Dexter. I mentioned this in my wildcard draft. You almost have to predict who's going to start between Ward or Iverson. And if you get it wrong, that could be quite bad. But then you have Guaita anyway, you can come off. So it's not the worst scenario to be on a wildcard. Will you upload your latest team to this stream, please? Ronnie, yes, I will. But I'm going to pretty much lock in my move like now. But flip. What if we get news about Isaac? I think we have to take the risk anyway. I mean, if Isaac starts, I'll be so sad. Let me take a squiz. Okay, so nothing so far, no early team news. So I think we can lock in the move then, guys. Like, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. And now Unkit has come in with a legend for 9 months. Davey's the legend there, I've said it. Thanks, Unkit. Thank you for the continued support. 9 months is the equivalent of a newborn child, I think. Yeah, 9 months. So thank you for that. It's a little bit of a weird comparison. I don't know why I went there, but yeah. Thank you for the 9 months. I couldn't think of anything for a 9-month anniversary. But I do appreciate all the support, guys, especially you legends coming in here and with these 8 months and 9 months. Wait, still time, says Karen. So there is still time. Isaac starting, says MD10. MD10, can you put some source there? Because I just want to know if it's reliable. Do you change KDB to Salah and make him captain for a free transfer? Do you change? So if you want to captain KDB, if you want to captain Salah, then I'm fine with that, Optimus Prime. Like that's okay to do. But also remember that because you have a wild card, you can just bring Salah in come game week 12, and then you're wild carding him back in for free. Then Rafa and Reza dropped the 2 years of legendary membership. Jesus Hadi plus Martelly 3 assists equals sleep ball. So now I can't even deny that because it's been 2 years. That is mental. So thank you, Rafa and Reza, for being a legend for 2 years. Mental amount of time. Can't believe you've listened to me for 2 years and not gone insane. So thanks, I do appreciate it. And hopefully you get your Jesus Hadi and Martelly 3 assists and then you do sleep well. Yeah, so that's how he says, Rafa and Reza showing us up. No, everyone's important, but Rafa and Reza just more important today, I guess. Isaac to Watkins, that's a move that I did consider, but I just don't trust Aston Villa at the moment. Captain Tony or Maddison, I think on fixture you might go Tony there, but Maddison's a fine option. I might trust Tony slightly more from a captaincy point of view just because he's more of a talisman, and that's what you really want to go for. In Boomer instead of Tony, they have much better option in Solanke with vomiting faces, so Nikhil, that is fine to go for, but it kind of defeats my purpose because I think there's too much between those two, and I need the money. Source equals Zidane's barber, says MD, so not so reliable. But yeah, awesome seeing this community growing, says Harry. It is true. Thank you for always just, even if you're just tuning into the stream and liking it or tuning into videos, it's always nice to see some growth. So I do appreciate all of you guys watching the stream. Gary, the trust in Davey is real. Thank you with the houses. I followed you since your channel was beginning. So the legend is 2 years, but the viewership is even longer than that. So I do appreciate that. Who do you captain, KDB or Maddison? Between those two, I'll probably go Maddison, to be honest. 9 minutes left. Okay, let's check last team news, promise. Then we'll go. Okay. Okay, so no early team news, so we're going to be doing the Solanke move. Regrettably or unregrettably, let's lock it in now. So out for Solanke. And we're going to make the transfers. So Isaac to Solanke, confirmed transfers. It is done. He is in our team. Hopefully he gets a Hattie this week, because otherwise we're going to be sad. But no, all jokes aside, I mean, it is what it is. I need the money. So that's what we're going for. I know there's going to be some of you that are not happy with that move, and I can understand why, but just know that it's for the future. It's an investment here. We're investing in Bitcoin when it was $100. That's the equivalent of this move. And I'm gonna be benching Zuma. I just don't know. I favor the attacker in this fixture. Brentford haven't kept a clean sheet, haven't kept one clean sheet this season. So I'm just hoping that maybe Brentford can do some damage with their 0.01 XG per game. Otherwise, we're gonna, with the last 9 minutes, we're gonna kind of answer any question that you guys do have. So just drop them in the comments, and we will do a quick fire round. I'm just posting the team to the YouTube and Discord server. Rail strike news. As far as I know, there's nothing about it. It seems like it died away quite quickly. I don't know if it was I think there was more of a speculation about it, and I think people just hopped on it. I don't think there was too much kind of relating to it, to be honest. Okay, so let us go. They won't be laughing when Solanke gets 10 price rises. Harry, I won't even take 10 price rises. I'll just take 10 Hatties over the next 10 game weeks. We even keep him on our wildcard game week 17. Okay, Isaac to Vardy. No, Lavish, too risky for me. We don't know exactly the situation on Vardy. I have Zaha. Should I start him over Andreas? No, start with Zaha. Bailey, Perisic or Emerson. Perisic, Tony, Haaland or Mount for captain. Haaland, -4 for Barnes and Wilson, or Maddison to play. Rashford's flagged. How much is Rashford? Can you just do a straight move to Barnes? That would be better. Take a -4 for Zaha and Tony, not this week. Zaha, Harrison versus Martinelli. I still go Martinelli. Solanke or Mbeumo. I've gone Solanke. For final, Perisic, Maddison captain shout. I'm fine with that, as long as you understand it's a differential, Kev. Isaac to Wilson or Solanke. I don't like Isaac. I don't like Wilson because of his injury proneness. Tsimikas for a 1 week punt. That's fine. Raw one. Would you do Isaac to Solanke for -4? No, I just play whoever I have on my bench. Will Bailey start? I don't know. Solanke and Sinistero or Tony and Andreas. Solanke and Sinistero. Gay or Tony. Gay. Okay to keep. Yeah, that's fine. Don't at me when Spurs win. I won't at you, Ewok. -4 to bring in James for Cucurella, please. I don't think I'd do a -4 this week when they have Crystal Palace. Hi, Davey. Foden to Maddison. I'd probably just keep Foden. How much is left in your bank after the Solanke move? 1.5, I think. Yeah, 1.5 is left in my bank. There's a train strike today? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to affect any games. Start Paqueta or Bailey. Paqueta's more nailed, so probably him. Best 4.5 all around goalkeeper. I'd go for Guaita. Thank you, Patrick, for being a viewer since I started. I've got Perisic, Trippier for Final Bailey. Who to prioritize? Trippier first. Start Zaha or Zuma. I would start Zaha. Isaac to Vardy. Lavish, I've already answered that. It's Tony and Mitro or Bamford and Wilson. Tony and Mitrovic. Matt, easy decision there for me. Start Saka or Martinelli. I try to start both of them, but otherwise Saka. Whom to come in for Patterson? I'd go for Neco Williams. Keep it at the same price point. Virgil van Dijk or Andreas to start. Virgil van Dijk. Take a -4 for Zaha and Tony. Javid, I think I already answered that. Isaac to flip. I've lost where I was. Tyler just saying Salah hat-trick incoming. Hopefully not, Tyler. Come on, David. Do the De Bruyne to Salah. He will bang. So, Kylo, I do have enough in the bank, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that move. But I can actually do it if I want to, but I don't know. Flip, I actually could, But I like Kevin De Bruyne over the next round. Tariq saying, cheers, Davey. Let's have a good season. Hopefully. How much in the bank? 1.5 MD. Uche, you watching? Says Uba. How's it, Davey? Hopefully we get some good game week luck on my birthday. Connor, happy birthday, brother. Hopefully it's a great day. How old are you turning? Would you do Tony if possible? I would do Tony if possible, but I wouldn't do it for my own team because I want those other options in the future. That's why I've gone for Solanke. And even if I had enough money, I would have gone Solanke anyway. Isaac replacement under 9 million. I think Lavish, you just go Tony. Refresh team, says Tarang. I'll refresh the team just for you, Tarang. There we go. Hopefully you can see it's been refreshed. Also, let me know if there's anything wrong with my team. I don't think so. Vice Madison, Captain, Haaland. Bench looks okay. I know there might be somebody that would start Zuma, but I don't know. Solanke or Mbumo. I've gone for Solanke, Kev. But if you have enough money in the future for your transfers, then go for Mbumo. Salah says Gregorian law. I'm so hungover, I almost missed the stream. So Alpa, get those transfers locked in. 4 minutes to go. But thanks for joining the stream, even though you're feeling a little bit under the weather. Diaz or James? James. Solanke or Antonio to replace Isaac? Solanke. Start Cancelo or Martinelli? Gary, I'd probably go Cancelo. Zuma could have been a better pick than Solanke, but it's late now anyways. We can still start Zuma. It's not like a problem, but I understand what you're saying. We could have just started Isaac then. Or just benched Isaac. Be a Giga Chad. Let's get Salah. Haaland is the biggest Giga Chad there is, so that's why he's the captain. The Giga Chad transfer, the Giga Chad captain is Madison this week. As Winston is saying, how about Madison captain punt this week? Winston wants to be a Giga Chad. He wants to captain Madison. Salah is still relatively okay. I think the beta captain is Haaland though, because he's the safe one. How do you feel about double Newcastle defense versus Mitrovic? Tony, I'm kind of playing the odds here. It's not really double defense because Pope can get save points and I guess Trippier can get an attacking return. But I understand what you're saying. On paper, it is double defense. I'm just hoping that either Mitrovic bangs or we get a double clean sheet. Good luck, guys, says Ricky. Good luck to you too, Ricky. Coutinho or Madison? Madison. Haaland captain, says Adam. Let's go. Son captain, potentially. He's in good form, so maybe. Mount or Saka for the next weeks? I've Martelli. I'd probably go Mount. I think Saka's safe, but I don't like their fixtures. I'm going Madison captain, says Adam. Okay, Adam, you officially are Giga Chad. Am I the only person that does not have Haaland still got wildcard? And so Optimus Prime, you're just flexing there. But yeah, you might be the only person. Go for Solanke captain. I'm cheering for you, Day Holy, but I'm not going to go for Solanke captain. I'm getting enough hate here for selecting him in my team. Imagine I captained him. The scenes. I have to leave early. Carlo, good luck and have a safe and great weekend. Ward instead of Pope. I don't trust the Leicester defense. Haaland, Hattie, United win. Plus good luck also. If Haaland gets a hat-trick, United can win. I'll give you that one. Start Zuma or Bowen? Bowen. Get Haaland in. It's crazy without him, says Adam. Probably referring to Optimus Prime. Bench Perisic or Pereira? I'd bench Pereira. I'd play Perisic. I don't have much faith with Pereira this week, to be honest. I think it's because of the what happened last week when I needed to play him and he didn't really perform that well. Start Ward or Guaita today? I would start Ward. Ward or Iverson, whoever you guys have selected, and then Guaita on the bench. Because worst case scenario, if none of them play, you can just get Guaita off. Iverson or Ward? I'd still go Ward, I think. But if you need the extra value, then Iverson. Mount will be the next gross for Potter. I hope I'm right, 100%. Dave, your opinion about Arsenal versus Spurs? Okay, so Arsenal versus Spurs, I think 2-2 for Arsenal Spurs. And Man City versus United, I think it's going to be 3-1 for Man City. That's what I'll say. Man City just looked too good, in my opinion. Ward or Hendo? Hendo probably will get a lot of saves. Start Henderson or Ward, please. I'd say I would go for Ward just because I think that better chance of a clean sheet, but I think that Henderson will get more saves there. So it's a tough one. I think the stats will probably say Henderson, but in terms of just logic, I think maybe Ward slightly. Liverpool versus Brighton, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. Luis Diaz versus Brighton, I always like Luis Diaz, so he's always a good selection. I just think, unfortunately, at that price point, there's better options at that price point. What are your thoughts on KDB captain? I mean, if I'm captaining Haaland, then KDB is a fine option also, but I just think that Haaland has that safety of the effective ownership. Ward or Leno? Probably Leno if it's long term. people believe that Liverpool game is easy. Brighton got amazing defense. I think it's because of the new manager. So they're saying that maybe the new manager might not be as secure defensively. But as you've said, it's the same team, the same maybe formation. So they should still keep a clean sheet probably. But guys, that is going to be time's up. So I'm surprised no one has mentioned this in chat yet. But there we go. Azim is saying time's up there, guys. So thank you for joining this deadline stream for Game Week 9. A pretty chilled one, a pretty boring one maybe, unless you guys were on a wild card. The transfer we did was going to be Solanke in for Isaac. Hopefully Isaac doesn't play because otherwise I'm going to be hella mad. And hopefully Solanke gets a hattie along with Haaland. We're going to have a complete hat-trick of Haaland. We're going to have Maddison getting a hat-trick probably. De Bruyne also, Saka also, maybe even Trippier. Who kind of knows? But at the end of the day, as long as we get a green arrow for Game Week 9, I'll be pretty happy. So thanks for joining my deadline stream once again. Hope you guys have a safe Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world, and a safe Sunday. And hopefully the Prem football is going to be absolute bangers, because come that Game Week 10 deadline, I want to see a better rank than we currently have. So may the green arrows be in your favor. And I'm going to sign off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers.